And we are live. Testing one, two, three. How is everyone doing out there? Once again, Bronze Dragon coming back at you on Sunday afternoon, right at noon, here where we talk Atlas Earth every week. This is the, I believe, 28th episode in a row where we're going to talk Atlas Earth. I mean, I started it out as just a trial, and it turned out that a lot of people wanted to talk about Atlas Earth. So it's been a great time, and I actually look forward every week to coming at you and talking with you for about an hour to hour and a half, depending upon how the conversation goes. I have a big announcement. You may have seen it by the thumbnail, but my channel hit 5,000 subscribers this month, or yesterday, 2 days ago. 2 days ago. It was Friday night, right? I was sitting there watching all of Friday, and it was like ticking, 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 and finally went over 5,000 subscribers. And I have to say that I've been doing this for more than 3 years. And you see these videos of people saying, oh, I hit 100,000 subscribers in 1 month and stuff like that. Well, let me tell you, some of us, it's been a lot slower progress, and mostly I think because of the topic I cover, Web3 and play to earn games like Atlas Earth, it's a much more it's a smaller niche. You know, less people are interested than the bigger name games, but it's what I'm interested in. And I will have to say, shout out to all you Atlas Earthers, because that's what made it happen, really, to tell you the truth. I was holding at less than 1,000 subscribers for a long time until I started covering Atlas Earth. So I wanted to come to you and say I appreciate you joining me and on this wild ride that we call Atlas Earth. And, you know, I cover other games as well, too, just that pop up that I'm interested in. But I wanted to say thanks. And as a celebration, I will be giving away a couple Atlas Earth t-shirts as we go along in this chat, just as a, you know, something to celebrate with, right? We will have two drawings throughout this progress of this live stream. Now, one of the things I will have to say is, because there's really no mechanism for me to give away stuff within Atlas Earth, I found it very challenging to be able to do any giveaways on my live streams. So if you do participate in the giveaway, you will have to know that you will have to provide your personal shipping information and your size, you know, and a color for the shirt, you know. So you will have to do that through Discord. So if you don't want to give away your personal information, I completely understand. But if you're in the drawing and you win, you're going to have to tell me where to have them ship it, right? And you're going to have to tell me your size and color preference. And also, you know, they're unisex t-shirts, so they fit male or female. So I'll give that away, but keep that in mind. You'll have to let me know on Discord your shipping address. But that's what we're going to do today, you know, have a little bit of fun. So let's go ahead and dive into chat and see what everybody's talking about, because there's a lot going on this week. You know, we had the start. Today is the start of the new mini games country groupings that was announced earlier this week. Maybe last week, several days ago, Annalise put it out, and I put a video out about it. So today is actually the first day it's been going on. So if you're joining us from another country outside of the United States and you've already taken part, let me know. Let us know how it's gone. How was the pool? How was everything, right? So let's go ahead and dive into chat and see what everything's going. You will see that I'm back on my old OBS client, but I've got a surprise for you, because that other client, I was kind of fighting with it. So I'm trying something different this week. So let's go ahead and jump into chat and see what everybody's doing. Lots of chat. Love this. Preview this is here. Welcome. Says, I'm here for my weekly Atlas Earth TV event. Hope you're doing well, Bronze. Well, thanks. I hope you're doing well as well. I'm doing okay. You know, I've hit my 1,500 mark, which is the top of the 3 times tier here in the States. And I've talked about this, but I really need to do a video about it. My next step is to jump in the 2 times tier, and that is going to be about 22,000 Atlas bucks I need to save up, because it represents about 220 parcels I need to buy. And as we know, when you step into the 2x tier, there's really no tiers left to tier jump. But there is a significant step there that till you hit break even. So that 220, 225, somewhere in that neighborhood before I can jump into the 2x tier, so I can avoid all that loss, right? And I'm going to do a video about it, but that's where I stand. I'm in savings mode. I've got I think I just passed like 9,000 Atlas bucks, so I still got a ways to go. I might not even be able to buy parcels during the challenge ladder next month, which would make it increasingly more interesting. I guess I would just have to play a lot more mini games or something or other. Okay, let's see here. Arturus is here. Did I say that? Arturus. Is it every event will be global, not local? Yes, everything's changed. Everybody, you should watch the video I put out. Also, if you're in Discord, check out Annalise's announcement in the announcement section. All the countries are grouped now. For instance, it's not just the United States. United States, Canada, and Mexico all play together. So the top 1,500 spots, if you earn a spot, you will get a prize. The competition is more, but the prizes should be more as well. So it's, trade-off. Obviously, they did this to kind of improve the pots worldwide. So it's something they're trying. Obviously, I'm sure that they're taking input as far as how things go and everything. But nothing's perfect. People complain about one thing. You can't satisfy everybody. So I think that for the most part, everybody should see bigger pots, hopefully. But you're going to have more competition. Southern Coin Hunters in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Hey, it's Sherry's in the house. Sherry's in the house says, good morning, all. I was able to finish my challenge ladder this week. Yay, but someone took over one of my mayorships. Boo! I completed mine like the 12th or 13th. It was a little bit harder for me. We talked about this last week about the reorganization and everything. It's just they're trying different things, seeing, I'm sure, trying to, like we talked about, have more people playing mini games across the full month instead of just right at the beginning, that kind of thing, to try to stretch it out. And they're changing things up. But it was harder for me this month, but I don't think it was impossible. Obviously, I completed it. So I wouldn't say, I would definitely say it was harder than the last several months, though. But welcome, Sherry. Thanks for dropping by. Brandtastic is in the house, is here. I love your intros and outros, but would you consider changing it up from time to time? Well, I could. I like changing things up. But you know what? What I found is when I change things, some people like it to stay the same. I do like to change things, but then I have some people that say, hey, what happened to your old outro? It's like I changed the outro, but I kept the same music. But yeah, I get your point. Yeah, I am apt to change, but there's so much going on that it's just a matter of finding time, right? So, but I agree. Darren Harper's in the house. Welcome. Good morning from Shreveport, Louisiana. That's the big city. And if you remember what movie that was from, let me know. It was funny. We lived down south outside New Orleans whenever that movie came on, but they referred to Shreveport as the big city. Welcome, Darren. Thanks for stopping by. Preview this says, well, I'm not fishing, if that's what you're asking. I haven't been fishing quite a many years. I like fishing, but it's just where I'm situated and what I'm doing for a living just doesn't allow for a lot of fishing. And I wouldn't consider it. I used to go fishing when I was a kid with my dad and such. When you grew up in the middle of Indiana, and this was before the internet and everything, you had limited things you could do with your dad on the weekend. So fishing was one of them. Once in a while, we look forward to getting out of the house, right? And I'm sure my mom looked forward to us getting out of the house too. B5V says, congrats on the 5K. It's all snowballing. Well, it's trickling in, and I've come to the realization that, you know, my niche, what I talk about, it's just a small amount of people are interested in it, so I'm okay with it. In fact, I love the fact that people stop by on the weekend, and I have a decent size amount of people that are, you know, coming by to say hello on the live stream. So I'm just leaning back and enjoying it. I think I've talked about this. This was kind of my idea. I've got a few years before retirement, but I was trying to build a YouTube channel so I could have something to do during retirement. So, but I've been having fun with Atlas Earth, and it's still I'm still having fun with it. Almost a year and a half later, I'm sneaking up on a year and a half, and I'm going to have to do a video on that. You know, my progress and everything. You can see that I just surpassed $500 this last SRB. So Donnie S is in the house. Welcome. Says, good evening. The 3-hour fishing game still going strong for an hour here in Europe. Well, good luck, man. Good luck. Did they get the fishing game back working correctly after last week's fiasco or downtime, I guess you could say, in the game having problems? Let's see here. Cerezi says, good morning. Good morning to you as well. Clint Casey's in the house. Says, only 2 badges left to level 3. Nice. It's always good to go up a level and get that increased flat boost. Hey, it's Sherry, and Donnie also say congrats. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Arbin says, good morning from everyone here from Florida. Nice. Thanks, Arbin. Thanks for stopping by. Bargo is here. Welcome, Bargo. Thanks for dropping by. Let me know, everybody, what you've been up to in Atlas Earth this week. Southern Coin Hunter says, it took me 2 years to hit 1K subscribers on my coin collecting channel. Yeah, I mean, I think especially younger people, this is a whole other topic as far as how long it takes to actually build something on YouTube. Some people can start up channels and do shorts with kind of dumb, pithy, you know, jokey type things and have 100,000 subscribers in a minute, you know, or, you know, very quickly. But when you're doing something where you like to talk about strategy and everything, sometimes it takes quite a while. Preview This says, I thought you were going to say Atlas Bucks. My Financial Journey's in the house. Thanks for dropping by. Brandtastic says, watching you on TV like I always do with AirPod Pros too. Nice. You know, I was thinking about this week, I need to watch some of my videos on TV. How do my videos look on TV? Because there's this whole thing that YouTube is pushing out YouTube videos more to TV than they are. TV watchers have surpassed phone watchers. You know, for a longest time, phone was the biggest way YouTube videos were watched, and now it's TV. So I need to get out there on the TV and watch some of my videos and make sure they, you know, they look okay on TV. But let me know if something's wrong or if I could improve something. Arbin says, hello, Bronze. I'm almost to 1,300 parcels. Nice. Yeah. Like I said, I just hit 15, so you're almost there, just on the road. You know, it's just like I said, slow and steady progress. Just make your plan and stick with it. And sometimes you have to kind of, you know, change things up a bit. If you're going to go on a trip and it's better off, you can grab some badges, because it always helps in the future, right? Arbin says, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Well, I hope you do too. Janice is in the house, says, made it on time 2 weeks in a row. Well, thanks for dropping by, Janice. Appreciate it. Always good to hear from you. Power Daz is in the house. Welcome. Power Daz was a winner on my show yesterday. My Saturday shows on Splinterlands card game. He won some of the one of the giveaways yesterday. Thanks for dropping by. Southern Coin Hunter says, I learned that you can stack the rent boost up to 7 hours. The max is going to be 6 hours, unless you are subscribed to the Explorer Club, then it's 8. Preview this says, did you find out why Brazil is on its own? I do not know. Annalise said, due to where they line up time zone wise, we will reevaluate after the first month. So I kind of figured that was the case. First of all, Brazil is very populous, has a large population. I figured it was either the population or the time zone. So apparently where they line up with the time zone is kind of weird, or just kind of made more sense to try them by themselves. So, but as Annalise has been saying in the chat over the last week, they're going to look at the numbers, see how everything went, and if changes need to be made, they need to be made, right? So, Christopher Marino's here. Welcome, Chris. Says, good morning. I got banned from the arcade by the third-party provider and now have lost access to the arcade. Wow. Atlas support couldn't or wouldn't tell me why. Any input on what I can do? I don't have any input, Chris. Annalise might be able to tell you something. I don't know. Why were you banned? Yeah. Sorry, I'm fresh out of ideas. If you get banned by one of these third-party providers, there's not a whole lot I think Atlas Earth can do about it, unfortunately. You may just have to switch over to doing the other stuff within the game more heavily instead of playing the arcade games. Unless, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about them thinking about another arcade game provider. I haven't heard that mentioned, so. Bargo says, we are in the last hour of the EU minigame. Okay, well, after, as it's going along, let me know how it's going. Are the games playing good? You seeing any lag issues? I saw some people mentioning lag in the chat. A lot of times that might be, a lot of times when lag is mentioned, it's on the actual user's side, right? So it's obviously good to go ahead and if you're in your home, reset. If you're encountering lag and you're playing off the Wi-Fi, reset your router, things of this nature. Before a mini game, if you're playing off your cell connection, reboot the phone, do a hard reboot of the phone so it establishes another connection. Turn off all, turn off all other apps on your, not turn off all, but if you have some other games running, like make sure that you close those apps out before you play the mini game. Just basic stuff like this. But sometimes it could be on the provider side, or on the server side. So preview this says, I was just getting nosy, doesn't bother me at all. Logan's here, says, hi everyone, Minecore here. What topic will be discussed today? Well, we're talking about a lot of different things. Mostly I think about the new minigame combination of countries together for the POTS and competition perspective. Lady Sharon says, good morning. Still plugging at the arcade. My timing is way off this month. In fact, was playing a game before this video, so about 10 minutes behind. Yeah, I've been plugging away at video games too. I did actually download a game this week from the arcade because I had heard some people in the chat mention that it was pretty fun. It was like this little racing game where these little blob guys race, and they race over land, and then they swim, and then you play this game where you upgrade different things like hand gliders and upgrade your tennis shoes and stuff like that. And I got into it, and it was pretty fun. I was going to have a fun time running through it, but it didn't get recognized when I did the download and installation. The Atlas Arcade didn't recognize the installation, so it took it off the arcade, did not make it available, and probably I just can't re-download it again and get credit, but it just wasn't tracking, so I just deleted it. And then I downloaded another one. A lot of these games, I found that the games are just they're just giving out very minimal Atlas bucks at this point. I found that late last year I was making some really nice prizes, and it was pretty. I don't want to say easy. It still took hours and hours to complete a game and get that last final prize on the arcade. But I found that for most of these games, they're now set at 90 days instead of indefinite. And they've stretched it out so far that it's almost impossible to get that final prize, right? So, but it is what it is. And you're playing games and earning a few bucks here and there. And that's what I've been doing, so. My financial journey says I'm headed off to Vermont in a couple hours. Well, drive safe or travel safe, however you're going, for the Disc Golf Green Mountain Championship. Nice. I had a roommate at one point in my life that played disc golf, and I think it was when I was in the Navy. It could have been in college, but he played disc golf. I never got into it. Going to go snag a few badges while I watch some aces. Nice. Christopher says, I only played the games for the challenges for the monthly ladder. Pretty much same here. That's what I do, the mini games. If you're not going, other than the challenges, if you're not going to play the entire time to place, why play them, right? Brandon says, your on-screen comments are a bit too small. You think you can make them bigger if you can. Yeah, I'll have to play around with that. I did want to make them bigger, and they are actually bigger than they started out. I understand your point, though, and that is on my list of things to do. But actually, I'm just happy I can make the comments appear today because yesterday I couldn't even make them appear. I had to mess around with the settings and everything for about half an hour to make it happen. But I understand. So basically, your comment is make the comments bigger so that they're more viewable on TV. Completely understand it. Thanks for the input. It's not something I want to screw around with right now, but I will work on it. Darren says, Olympic has fallen and drive crazy. Those were not the ones I was thinking about. The one I was thinking about was the Disney cartoon with the little... with the lightning bug that had kind of a really bad Cajun accent. I forget the name of that one too, but it's got a riverboat and such, and it's got one of those Disney princess type things going on. It was a good show, but that was the one I was thinking about. Jeremy's in the house, says, how come you chose Atlas Earth instead of other competitors like Upland? Well, to be completely honest with you, which I always try to be, is I had not heard of Upland before I tried Atlas Earth. And at that point, I have covered several other Web3 games, and I still cover several other Web3 games. If you watch any of my coverage, you know I like Web3 and the whole idea and everything. And it's not I'm against Upland. It's just I got into Atlas Earth, and I put a lot of time and effort on covering Atlas Earth on a weekly basis and playing it. And I had made good progress, and I have made good progress in Atlas Earth. And frankly, to be real with you, it's making me better profit than really any of the other Web3 games I play. Splinterlands makes me some profit, but not as much pure profit on a weekly basis as what Atlas Earth did. Now, once I heard about Upland, I looked into it, and I'm like, well, I thought, well, do I want to dive into another crypto/Web3 product? And at that point, I thought, well, I'm putting so much time and effort into Atlas Earth, I got to just stick with it. And so I like we've been talking about, I just surpassed 5,000 subscribers. It's a lot of people became interested in it, so I like making content. And I just, when you're making content about a number of different projects and games and such, there's just so much you can do. And at this point, I don't really have any personal time because all my personal time at night is spent in making YouTube content and, trying to do something in a game to provide content, right? And I just get to this fine a critical mass, so to speak. There's a critical mass of games I can play and still do what I like to do and provide YouTube content. So it's not that I have anything against that game. It's just I've reached a, critical mass. So DJ Dub Stomps in the house. Aloha to you as well. Logan says, well, on AE, my mission for reaching BP in AB and trying to gain mayorship continues. I have been a little bit on the low. I have recently passed 5,360 and I'm at 5,379 roughly. Well, nice. You've made a good progress. I know you probably said this before, but how long have you been playing? How long did it take you to reach 5,379 parcels? Because like I said, I'm about a year and a half, almost a year and a half now, and I'm just at 1,500. Cerezi says, I'm still working on Disney Solitaire. Same here. I've made it to scene 12, but it just keeps taking longer and longer to get needed amount of stars to move on. Yeah, I mean, I play it every morning because, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what'll happen, is you can play that game and they'll pretty much let you pass like 4, maybe 5 matches on a daily basis without buying anything. And then they just like cut it off because they let you pass like 3 hands, right? And then on the 4th hand, for me, they make you use up the money you have saved up to buy enough to complete those hands. And then it's just like you lose all, you come back every hour and you can get another hand, but then you end up losing it. So after that 4 or 5 hands on a daily basis, I just basically give up. I'll claim a few of the hourly monies, but then come back the next day, because it's basically not worth the time and effort because they want you to spend money on the game. So, but yeah, I'm trying to complete it. I probably got about 30 or 40 days left on it, but I think I'm in scene 9 or 10. Brandon says he's been rocking the Atlas surveys. Darren says the Mist is another one. Yeah, I remember the Mist. In fact, let me look this up. It's bugging me. I Googled Disney Princess New Orleans. Okay, so it's The Princess and the Frog. That's the one I was referring to. The Princess and the Frog. That is the one where the lightning bug, if I'm not wrong, refers to the big city. Yeah. No, somebody says, "Where are you going?" And that's how that turns out. Okay. Robert's here. Says, good morning. I watch through my Xbox on my big screen, so kind of TV. It's interesting to see how everybody watches YouTube videos. I'm what I would call I'm a Gen Xer. I watch most of my stuff on my computer screen because I'm sitting here most of the day, right? And it's interesting where if you're a YouTuber, you have to step back and not just take for granted how you do it, but you have to look at how everybody who is watching your videos do it. There's a lot of people that are watching on TV now and phones. So, and to tell you the truth, how you view a video or how a video is viewed on a phone is completely different than it's on a widescreen, or on a full TV. So, I'm just doing my best. Brandon says, I am loving the new look on the surveys layout. Yeah, they're continuing to upgrade things along the way. Brandon also asks, is it possible to use prepaid cards such as, such as the Vanilla and Visa debit prepaid cards to pay for subscriptions? That's an interesting question. I think so. Somebody else would have to let him know if they've done this before, or Annalise would have to answer. I can ask after the show if she doesn't. I don't know. I have not done it. Is there anybody in the audience that has used a prepaid card, Visa debit card, to pay for the subscriptions? Preview this says, listen to you and doing better in fishing. So thanks, Bronze. Well, congratulations. Hope you do well. My Financial Journey says, are you talking about Pocket Champs? Exactly. That's the name of the game. When I see that in arcade, it says the milestones are like hundreds of thousands of trophies, so I never buy. Well, it does say that, but it's not too hard to progress through. I went off the statement of several people who were talking about it in chat, said it was a rather fun game, which I played like the first 10 levels or something like that. And it was a fun game, and it seemed like it progressed pretty, within that time period. I should have passed at least one milestone and almost the second one, you know? So either way, I don't think it's, I understand what you're meaning though, as far as the progression needed a lot of trophies. It seemed to be like a fun game, and I was just frankly looking for a fun game to play, right? That wasn't just pure torture. Or not pure torture, but, you know, tedium. That's a better word for it. Brandon says, where is your original energy? You mean my energy drink? I've got still stuff on the shelf. I'm just trying a different energy drink. I saw a good deal on, not an advertisement, I don't make any money off this, Starbucks iced energy drink on Amazon when I was shopping there, and I just figured I'd try it. It's all right. It's a little bit on the sweet side. I prefer them when they're not really sweet. This would be really good if I mixed it half and half with like some unsweet tea, you know, because it's got a big fruit flavor. It almost tastes like a melted popsicle or something or other. Logan says, I'm also curious in knowing what it will start like a social media type of platform, since they did say what the trajectory is going to be like. Yeah, I don't know, to tell you the truth. He talked about it in a few different town hall, or what are they calling it? Ask Me Anything AMAs. It'll be interesting, you know. It'll be interesting what it does to the game and how it expands it. My only guess on all these changes is the fact that on the back end, you know, they're going to change the whole art style of the game, right? And they're also talking about adding these, you know, the social media type element to the game. So this is you know, just thinking of it from the application side, this is a complete redesign of the game. So we haven't seen a lot of new things. We've seen a few updates, like Brandon was saying, the update of, you know, taking, you know, things looking a little bit different in different areas. But as far as the game goes, what I expect is it's like a complete redesign, and everything is going to fit together. So that's my best guess on why it's taken so long. The fact that there's, you know, there's a lot of pieces that have to fall into place for everything. And it seems to be like we've been seeing just slow updates over time, but then there's going to be some period where Annalise comes out and gives a message that says, hey, expect a big update this next week, you know, and something like that. And then we're going to probably expect a little bit bigger than usual downtime. And then they're going to upgrade the whole client as far as artwork and, you know, the new interface. That's just my guess. I don't have any behind the scenes information or anything, but just thinking from a programming perspective, I'm betting that they're going to design it all, you know, together, and then they'll just have to upgrade the whole client at once. That's my guess though. But what do I know? Brandon says, could Atlas Earth help with money problems? Well, I think I don't know. I won't say that it can. I won't say that there's some places on this earth that See, I'm blessed. I admit it. And I've worked my whole life since I was 11 years old, but I have things to show for it. But there's a lot of people on this earth that are less fortunate than what I am. And that ties into your question that saying, yeah, there's some people that several 20, 30, 40, 50 extra bucks a month could really help out. And I like it, and it does help me out, but my life is not dependent upon that money. So the answer to your question is there probably is. But that's all down to the classic discussion about how some places are some countries are more blessed than as far as making money and not having to scrap by on a daily basis. So watched plot never boils author. Hey, that's an interesting name. I like that. A watched plot never boils. A play on the words of a watched pot never boils. I like that. Good naming. Says the EU plus Africa minigame pot is over 200,000 Atlas bucks. Oh man, that's sweet. Do you think you're going to be able to place and get a piece of that? Logan asks, what rate were you in the Navy? He was an MT. I was a JO, which there's no such thing as a JO anymore, a journalist. I ran the onboard. I was on several different ships, but my main ship was USS Enterprise, CVN-65, first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, which I could tell you a bunch of trivia about, but you guys would all probably snooze. I ran TV board. I helped run a daily newspaper. I helped run the 2 radio stations. Whenever you open a newspaper and you saw these little articles about people going to boot camp and people going on deployment and stuff, I was the guy that took those pictures and wrote the articles. I worked for admirals and stuff like that. So that's what I did. But there's no JO anymore. So they got satellite TV on shipboard. So they don't need guys actually performing TV and radio work. Darren says, oh, I don't watch Disney, that's why. Well, catch that show. You might like it. Just from Louisiana, living there, you might like it. It's a pretty good show. I watched mostly in the early days because I had a daughter, and she was really into the Disney princesses and whatnot. And my wife collected the Disney movies on VHS, which we still have a ton of, but, don't use VHS anymore. Arvin says or asks, what news about the top 10 players? I don't know. Let's see if anything has changed. I don't, Arvin, I don't really keep an eye on the leaderboard. There, right before the King of Queens took over, he had pinged me a few times. I got a hair in my eyelash or something. So we got the King of Queens sitting at 134, almost 135,000. We have Shaman 15 at 121,500. We've got Count Maximus at 89 and Stealth at 64.5. So that's what the leaderboard looks like. I look at the leaderboard in my local area just to make sure nobody's sneaking up on me to take my mayorships away. And in fact, I wanted to add that because when I actually get to the 22,500 Atlas bucks, and I'm going to make that jump to the break even into 2 times, then I'm going to be able to also use that to take over my 5th mayorship. So at least that's the plan. Donnie says, the fishing game is playing well, no problems, only 3 hours, too long for me. Yeah, I see why they're doing it, because they need a lot of ads, right, to, bring the pot up. But to me, 3 hours is a chunk of time I just can't dedicate. Even 2 hours I can't dedicate. I can dedicate an hour because usually that's what it takes me to do some of my mini games, for the challenges. But anything over that, I can't dedicate that much time. Donnie says normal start at 1500 today. It moved from 1500 to 1600. Yeah, that's one of the things that we were discussing with the new combination of countries. There's going to be, you have probably, and I'm guessing because I didn't go look at the map, but I'm guessing there's like a 3 time zone difference. Annalise can correct me if I'm wrong, but probably a 3 time zone difference, maybe 2 time zone difference where the countries are in. So you might be earlier than what you were, or you might be later than what you were. But it's just the whole goal is to get people, playing at kind of the same time. Okay, so let's do this. Take my phone off of here, and let's go to the wheel of names and clear the board. Now, this is going to be a giveaway, and like I said at the beginning of the show, in the chat, if you want to get in on the giveaway for an Atlas Earth t-shirt, and once again, this is celebrating my 5,000 subscribers, I'm giving away an Atlas Earth t-shirt. You can put hashtag Atlas Earth in the chat and get your name in on this. But if you win, you need to send me in Discord your address and what size and color of t-shirt you want. Okay. So if you don't want to share that information, then don't put your name in for the drawing. Okay. Hashtag Atlas Earth in the chat and get your name in on the drawing now. And we will go back to chat and discuss this while people put their names in for the drawing. And, when I get done sending you the shirt, I'm just going to delete your information anyway. I don't use that for any other information. So I'm just typing down your names. Okay, one more time before we go ahead and spin. If you'd like to get your name in on the drawing for a Atlas Earth t-shirt, just put hashtag Atlas Earth in the chat and I'll get you in on the drawing. But remember that you're going to have to provide your address and your shipping address and your size and color of t-shirt you want so I can order it off the Atlas Earth store, because there's really no way in game that I can send you anything. So. And Red X, yeah, it is right. Pocket Champs is. I've got 2 t-shirts too, Arvin, but I was just trying to think of something to give away, right? Okay, so here we go. We're going to, Tang Clan Emperor got in right at the last minute. Okay, let's shuffle this 5 times for 5,000. 2, 3, 4, 5, and cross your fingers. Oh, sorry, Sharon, you got in too late. I still got one more, though. At the end of the show, we'll give away. Okay, congratulations, Red X. And I'm getting my notepad out. Red X is the winner of the first t-shirt. And I am going to give you my information to chat with me on Discord. Okay, so for anybody's information, that is my Discord username. And also, if you'd like to join my channel while I'm over here in Discord, and if you would like to join my channel in Discord, I have a couple. We have this. We do have one within my Discord server. We have a channel for Atlas Earth and then Splinterlands, so you can discuss just whatever you want within those games. So that's that. Okay. Okay. So Red X won the first T-shirt. We'll be giving another one away towards the end of and this is what we're talking about here. So you'll have to go on this page, Red X, and you will have to pick out a color and pick out a size and let me know, and I will send it to you. Okay, back to chat. Brandon says, would you consider doing an Upland versus Atlas Earth video? I never heard of Upland before today. You know, I would have to do a lot of studying into Upland. The thing is that I don't want to put out information that is not true. I'm doing my 2-minute ad or my 20-minute ad right now. The one thing I don't like doing is putting out videos where I just play the game for like a few minutes and then come to some kind of extrapolation on just a few minutes. I like to play a game for quite a while and then draw my conclusions from there. It would be interesting to maybe do a show where I talk to somebody who had played Upland for quite a while and do like a back and forth and talk about like a comparison. But I don't do comparisons unless I have played that other game for quite a while, just because I don't want to put out false information, really. Oh, Logan says I'm at 5,379 Atlas bucks. I thought you meant parcels. Logan goes on to say he's at 1,099 and at the tier jump position. And he's been playing since 2023. Tang Clan Emperor says, instead of saving to do 650 parcels, I took a trip to Palm Beach, Florida from Mississippi and collected so many badges. I have 9 left to go before I get to level 5. Nice. And you were at level 1. That's a lot of traveling, and that's a lot of Atlas bucks on badges. But it will help you out in the future, you know. So I am sitting at the 20% boost myself, and it's taken me a while. If I go on vacation, I'll buy more, probably. Brandon says, is Coin Master and Dice Dreams technically copycats of each other? I think so. There's a lot of these games we play, especially the games that are made by the same company that are very similar. They use the same in-game assets, like Dice Dreams and Domino Dreams. You know, the interesting part of that is I liked Domino Dreams. I got through it relatively quickly. And it wasn't one of those really quick ones, but it didn't take me a huge long time, like months to complete. Dice Dreams, on the other hand, took me months to complete. But a lot of these games we play end up being virtually the same, you know, same type of game. You get into certain styles of games. It's like I downloaded Klondike yesterday, and it's virtually the same as another game I played where there's a family on an island and you have to clear different spots and collect different things like wood and rocks and build buildings and stuff like that. And it's one of those games I don't really like, and I probably won't play it through to the end. But Annalise says some players have used prepaid cards. However, they seem to work better if you have a balance of $100 before you pay for the subscription. Interesting. My Financial Journey says it looks very similar to the game Fall Guys on Steam. I have to give it a go when it pops onto the arcade next month for the latter. Appreciate the info. Hey Ashley, saw you just pop on. I'm going through chat and just kind of, featuring, answering what everybody's up to. I'm doing well. I hope you are as well. Clint says, my current experience is like this. I'm listening to the show on a minimized YouTube screen on an Android phone while I'm out delivering DoorDashes. Well, drive safe. Don't get in any wrecks. It's good. It's good that you're listening to it like this. This is virtually podcast style, right? I don't provide a whole lot of visuals, so it would be very much podcast style. Robert says, Atlas Earth is my only job right now. Well, hopefully that's your choice and not kind of forced upon you. But good luck. Darren says, I was Air Force before being medically retired in 21 from Barksdale Air Force Base, Shreveport, Bossier City. I was stationed over at the CB base in Gulfport, over Mississippi, when I first came out of boot. And I did 3 years there, 2 or 3 years, 2 years, I think. My first 2 years was in there. And I met my to-be wife when I was down there, who was living down in Slidell, which is right outside New Orleans. And that's how I ended up going back after I got out of the service. So there's an Air Force Base over by Gulfport. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. It'll come to me after a while. But I used to go down there once in a while as well. There was a little club that was sitting at that row of stores right off the Air Force Base that they had live music at once in a while. It's funny the things you remember over the years. Some things you can't remember, and some things you remember it like it was last night, right? Logan says, wait. My father was on the Enterprise from 97 to, I think, 2002 2002 or something. I was on from 90. It was before that. 93 to 96. Yeah, I got out in 96. So... And a lot of that I was TAD, because that portion, the Enterprise, I know this is a talk about Navy stuff, but hey, I'm an old Navy guy. Enterprise was in the shipyards over in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and during rehab. And so I was there during that, which was not a fun time. But after that, I was TAD on several different other cruises for other, admiral staff and stuff like that, and help them out. And then coming back and forth, doing work in the shipyards, and also taking the ship out for sea trials and stuff like that. Not that you all tuned in for Navy talk, but you get what you get, right? DJ Dubstomp says, both of my parents were Navy, and Dad served 14 and Mother retired after 22. Try me with your technical jargon. Oh, I don't want to turn this into too much other than game talk. Yeah, memories. Watched Plot says, I've got about 20 minutes and I'm currently 3,491st. I don't think I'm going to get much. No, you have to be in the top 1,500 to get something. My Financial Journey says, Mark Cuban has taken Italy by force. Oh, wow. Guess Mark Cuban's doing a little bit of traveling. Sharon says, hello, I admit I am a little concerned about the minigame grouping. I hope that it becomes too hard for an average player to get in the winning set, just like before they consider extending the number of places that can win. I would rather win 20 Atlas bucks at 1900 than kill myself trying to win 50 or 60 at less than 1500. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to take a look at it, but I'm also sure that it's going to be a lot harder to place, because we've got Mexico and we've got Canada competing against us too. So it's going to be a lot harder to place. You're going to get more. Maybe they look at it after a few of these have gone past, look at the numbers, and maybe adjust it. I don't know. Hopefully they do. We'll see. But like I said, this is just coming from an impartial kind of voice because I don't really play them. So Preview This says, I'm just doing it today while listening to Bronze. Only started in last hour. Lady Sharon says, as shown by watched pot above, generally it should take 20 to 25 to get in the winnings in my opinion, but who knows? They're always tweaking. Yeah, it's going to take more, I would assume. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just saying that because the competition is going to go up. You've got a lot larger group of people you're competing against. And somebody's running a leaf blower across the street. Arbin says, congratulations. And for some reason in this new chat thing that I showed the chat, it does not show emojis. It just says heart, 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 red heart. Logan says, if I could get you a challenge coin from my submarine, do you want one? No, that's all right. Thanks for offering, though. I appreciate it. I don't really collect challenge coins. If you could get me a ball cap, I would want it. I do like Old Navy ball caps. The standard. Here's my one from... there's my Enterprise. There's my Stark. There's my America. So I do like ball caps because, I'm a guy that's follically challenged, so to speak. But I've wore ball caps out in the sun ever since I got out of the Navy. So just a habit, I guess, when I go out of the house. Brandon says, are you ever going to do giveaways ever again? I try to do giveaways when there's like an important event. And to me, passing 5,000 subscribers was an important event, So it's just like a celebration. All this is out of my pocket. So it's, the people that choose to be members of the and pay a small monthly subscription do help me out. It helps me out do more things. So thanks to all the members of the channel. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm scrolling through chat to see where I'm at. My Financial Journey says, I completed Klondike. It was pretty easy, all things considered. Well, I'm still chugging through the first few levels, so we will see. Brandon says, I got 13,417 ABs and over 3,000 diamonds. Well, Brandon, what are you planning on doing? Are you saving up for a tier jump? Is that why you're saving up? Lady Sharon says, oh, Family Island. Yeah, that was it. I never completed that one. She says, I stopped playing that long before I actually played Atlas Earth because they just had back-to-back events that were impossible to win, and psychologically I wanted to read the story. Yeah, a lot of those also have a lot of storyline to them, right? And I just can't be bothered. It's just too much time. Frankly, I just want to progress through and get my prizes, right? Yeah, I know. I'm behind on chat. I just try to answer most everybody I can get to. Clint says, Coin Master, Dice Dreams are basically the same game. Monopoly Go is also the same game with a different skin. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these games we play along and you can say, oh, that's very similar to these other ones. And it makes you wonder which game was the original, And Darren fills in Kiesler. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. That same time period, they had all the was when the casino boats came into lower Mississippi, and that's where they were down by the Air Force Base and the mall down there. Brandon says, I used to walk around collecting aluminum cans in a garbage bag in my town before I discovered Atlas Earth, and now I'm walking around buying virtual land. Nice. I need to take, I've got a bunch of aluminum in the back of my garage. I need to take the cans down and recycle them because it's just taking up too much space. Preview this says, thought you were talking about Star Trek for a second. Got me losing my last fishing match. Well, don't blame that on me, Darren. Or preview this. Don't blame losing your fishing match on me. No, I like Star Trek too, but this is CVN 65, which wasn't the first Enterprise. There's a few different before that, CV6 before that, and there's actually a classic. Enterprise is a name that's gone way back in the Navy, right? So there's been many ships named Enterprise. And that's probably part of the reason why they went ahead and brought it into the Star Trek books and TV shows. Darren says, you ever think about doing a random surprise live where you just talk about random stuff that isn't game talk? Yeah, I had put that out with my members. When I hit 25 members, I'm currently at 18, I'm going to start a monthly live stream where it's basically an AMA. Anything goes, really, as long within bounds. You know, we're not going to talk about stuff that ruins the party. And that's like, you start talking about different hot button topics like religion and politics and stuff like that. You keep that out. But anything gaming related and life related, if you're a member, I'm going to start doing a live stream once a month, and pretty much anything goes. Just as a benefit for members, and you know, because I appreciate their support. So yes, so the answer is yes, I have thought about it, and that's the way I think I'm going to go about it. But I have to get up to 25 members. I have to kind of get enough people to make it a decent discussion. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Donnie says the pot is crazy. 1,125 Atlas bucks already. I am almost at 2,400. Nice. Lady Sharon says, at Clint, yeah, that kind of irritates me. This whole let's play a dice or a board game or whatever, but oh, you can attack people and rob them. I don't actually like that aspect. Plus, tacking on Go on everything. Pokemon Go makes sense as you go outside, but I don't get Monopoly Go and Scrabble Go. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about them. I can say that I didn't have a whole lot of fun with them. I like playing Monopoly, straight up regular Monopoly, but that Monopoly Go just seemed kind of monotonous. Darren says, like if you win 30 games or something, you are guaranteed to win like 5 Atlas bucks or something. All you can do is say in chat and voice your opinion. Maybe Annalise will come up with some kind of list. I don't know. I'm sure that they're looking at the numbers on the back end to see what people are happy with, what people are not happy with, how the numbers go as far as the pots go. Maybe the pot was so big that maybe they can stretch it out to, you know, more people getting. I'm sure there's a bunch of different ways they could change it, right? All you can do is just voice your opinion of how things went and see what they do. They've always made changes, you know, so they're always trying to improve it. Obviously, they're probably trying to, you know, average out the pots so that the pots get bigger through the whole month, right? And, you know, keep people happy, you know, because you want to keep your subscribers happy, right? And people using the game, so. Aaron Schwartz in the house. Welcome, Aaron. Thanks for dropping by. Do appreciate it. Brandon says, do you got any baseball caps? I've got plenty of baseball caps, but they don't have any baseball teams on them. Most of the baseball caps I have are Navy related or football related. And my football related ones have Notre Dame Fighting Irish on them, which we finally won a game yesterday. And guess what? The whole game was pushed back due to the weather, so I missed the whole last quarter. we finally win a game, and I have to miss the last quarter because they took it off TV to show the Indiana game. Which I don't have anything against Indiana because I'm from Indiana, but I'm Notre Dame's my team. Darren says, I wonder if they made a USS Constitution ball cap or if it's only a 3-point. I guess that's Navy humor. A tricorn. Lady Sharon says, sounds interesting, Darren, but I don't think I've ever won 30 games in a session. I can tell you I haven't. Brandon answered my previous question, says, yep, tier jump. In fact, I'm thinking of a double tier jump. He's saving up a bunch of Atlas bucks. Red X says, Atlas Earth may need to switch up the advertisement campaign, being a terrible neighbor, maybe more civil and high-level approaches. Well, there's a lot of talk about the advertisement, and it was on a couple different questions that Sami had talked about in the last AMA. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the third party that runs the ads, a lot of people are not happy with them. I will say from my aspect, I mean, to me, what I've seen is the ads have changed up in the fact that I'm getting a lot more longer ads. I'm getting a lot more ads that are hard or impossible to fully close out. Like I have to completely close the game and relaunch the game just to get out of the ad, right? And that leaves me wondering, did I receive credit for the ad? You know what I mean? And then also these ads that require like 3 or 4 different closeouts because they go, you press the X and then they go to a different screen. Then you press the X and they go to a different screen. Or the ads where you press the X and it opens up Amazon. You press the X again, it opens up Amazon. You know, that kind of thing is very frustrating. But that is not on Atlas Earth. It would behoove Atlas Earth to maybe find a different ad provider. I don't know. But it's very frustrating from my point of view. And I see a lot of people with the same opinion. Oh, and that was Red X. I forgot to highlight his comment or her comment. Brandon says, have found out what's the price of aluminum cans. I don't know, but I need to do that. I know aluminum is a decent way people are making money these days because the guy across from me scraps and I hear him pounding on metal all day long. Tolga's here. Says, hello from Germany. The event just ended. I'm pretty wiped out. Did you place? How much did you win, do you think? Lady Sharon says, with you talking about the Enterprise, my mind immediately jumped to, wouldn't it be funny if we found like an old medieval or Viking vessel or something with the name translating to Enterprise? That would be funny. That would be funny. What he was referring to was the old version of the. He was referring to a ship that was back during not Civil War, Revolutionary War. Brandon says, "Did you hear about the Jimmy Kimmel situation?" I did, and I have very strong opinions. However, those opinions are not for this show. Those are more of a political nature, and I try to keep this show related to gaming in general, but mostly Atlas Earth. So, yeah, we'll keep those off. Brandon says, I had Monopoly for Sega Genesis. I had a Sega Genesis back in the day. I didn't have Monopoly on it. Logan says, finally downloading Matchmasters. I don't know if I've played that one again. And Brandon says, I never knew how to play Monopoly. I loved playing Monopoly back in the day. But it's one of those games that you have to have at least a good solid hour, if not more, to play. So you had to have the biggest part of the evening after dinner to play. And it's one of those games that if you're not detail oriented, or there's some people that just don't have enough patience to play it, right? In fact, I've played in a couple tournaments back in the day whenever I was a teenager, but. Logan says, will you be going to the USS Enterprise commissioning when the new carrier is being built? I did not know there was a new Enterprise being built. I'll have to look into that, but thanks for letting me know. I know the one Enterprise I'm on is a reef now. For all you don't know, a lot of old ships that are no longer being used and decommissioned, they strip them down. So they take all the dangerous parts out of them, like fuel and stuff like that, any electronics, and then they take them out and they sink them in different areas in the ocean where a reef is needed. And then that ship on the bottom helps to build an artificial reef. So hopefully it's doing the water life some good because it's no longer active in the Navy. Martin Ray's here, says, hi, Bronze. Sorry, late. Been playing fishing. Oh, I completely understand. Fishing is a little bit later on for us, although I won't be participating since I'm done with the challenges for the month. And Martin says he thinks that the pots were good. Yeah, from all the reports we've been getting, it seems like the pots are larger than expected, but you've also got more competition, right? So Preview This says that Temu one always causes me issues. Yeah, I think you can consider that from anything from Temu, right? At this point, it's almost a joke. Lady Sharon says, just got a full minute game ad, actually, but this actually had only one closeout and timer down from 60 seconds. I would rather have that one than some of these others. Also, I don't think there should be ads in the mini games that make you close out 3 or 4 times. It should be one and done, a countdown from 5 or 15 seconds to the next. Yeah, I mean, that would be more efficient, and I think that it's, but, there's the idea that everybody has a possibility of getting these. So the mini games I got where I encountered exactly what you're talking about, I end up having to close the whole game out and then relaunch the game and then get back into a mini game and then watch another ad. So some of these ads end up, you end up wasting twice as much time trying to get another game going or another match going. Brandon says, do you experience any of the ads pausing, and do you know why? If an ad pauses, it's most likely trying to download in the background, so it's your internet connection, whether it's on Wi-Fi or otherwise. Now, there's always the possibility that the ad kind of glitches and it just sticks there and it's not going forward. Then the only thing I know to do is to close down the app and then relaunch. But if it's just like kind of buffering, like you're watching a movie and it's buffering, something like that, that's your internet connection. So. Brandon says, I do believe Enterprise is also a car rental service. Yes, that it is. Lady Sharon says, I have also had ads during the mini games that I'm staring at, waiting for the X, and nothing happens. And then I tap on it and it shows up. Yeah. And also there are ads where it says, it'll have a button, but the button will say, download this app. So you're like, well, I don't want to download the app, so I'm not going to click on that. But if you click on it, then it actually brings the ad forward so you can close it out instead of actually downloading the app. So it's false information. But, this all goes in the umbrella of really the only control. I mean, I'm sure that the people on the Atlas Earth team can talk to the third party that provides the ad and maybe hopefully get some things changed, but largely they don't have a whole lot of control. It's like either you want to use our service or you don't want to use our service, right? Tolga says, yeah, I played for 3 hours, mate, in the top 100. Nice. Let us know how much you get out of that. I'm sure everybody will start talking about over the next week how everything's going, because they really need to, get a little bit of feedback so that so they can make changes, so that they can make it better. Hopefully, obviously it has to be better on the business side. These mini games have to support themselves. Plus, hopefully, I don't know how much profit the company makes off of the mini games. I think a lot of that stuff just goes back to the players, like a 50-50 raffle or something like that. I'm not even sure how much the company makes off of the mini games, but Martin Ray says a few issues with ads and freezing, but not too bad. Gutted as messed up a few games and ended up top 500 when aiming for the top 100 in Europe minigames. Well, top 500 is not too bad considering the new situation with all the countries being grouped together, right? Preview This does not like Matchmasters. I don't have an opinion on that because I don't believe I played it. Lady Sharon says, to be fair, the ads on Atlas Earth are way better than the ads on this one game that I'm trying to play right now. I won't go into detail, but let's just say it could be worse. Yeah, I agree. It could be worse. And to be honest, I think we're still playing the game, the one game as far as play to earn games go that gives us the best solid profit on a day-to-day basis. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in chat. Tell me of a platform. It doesn't even really have to be a game. It could be a play to, a platform where you earn dollars for, and I'm talking dollars here. I'm not talking gift cards, right? There's so many of these. Like I'm trying this one walking app, right? And it's going along okay. I'm not making very much at all off of it. But it's all just gift cards, right? Which gift cards are useful, but I'd rather have an app that just pays me out money, right? Let me know if I'm wrong, but I think Atlas Earth is still at the top. I have to talk to Pharaoh Silver about this. He covers a bunch of other apps as well, more than I do. My Financial Journey says everybody knows that every in-person game of Monopoly ends with someone flipping the board because they are bankrupt. Well, I think that's in movies or TV shows. That's like a trope, right? The one guy who can't stand being beat or is frustrated and flips it over. It's like a person that flips over a chess bet. I can't say never. I think that happened once when we were kids and my brother did it. But I've played a bunch of games of Monopoly and even in tournaments, and I've never had anybody flip the board on me. It's like I've played chess through high school and college, and I've never had a person flip the board on me, or get all mad. It's just like, hey, you won, shake hands, Martin Ray says he has an important question. How do we become members, not just subscribers? There's a little button below the video that says join, and you click that, and it will give you an option. There's currently 2 levels of members. I'm thinking about adding a third one, but there's a member for $3 and there's a member for like $5 or something like that. The $3 one, we'll give you access to the special emojis. I do have some other ones, but like this, and this. And the other one will also, on top of the emojis, give you access to my videos early. So I usually post the videos, and if you're a member of the Dragonflight level, then you get my videos up usually more than 12 hours earlier than most people. So, and the whole idea behind it is, I want to thank everybody for supporting me. Helps keep the channel going, because as we go along, what I earn off of this channel from YouTube and the ads and stuff is just not a whole lot. I keep going because I like talking to y'all and covering the content, right? So, okay, let's see here. We're coming down. I haven't forgot. I'm giving another shirt away, and we'll do that here in about 5 minutes, so stick around. Darren says USS Constitution is still commissioned. Yeah, if I'm not, let me just complete your statement before I go into this. Good old Ironsides It is a display, but they have naval personnel still on it, and they wear old school uniforms and such. Yeah, I've always wanted to go out there. So it's the oldest commissioned vessel in the U.S. fleet, and it's, you know, it's for tourists and stuff. It's technically commissioned, and they technically have U.S. Navy personnel on it. So I love that. I love that. And it was from the Revolutionary War. And think about it this way. Think about how well that ship was built. And I understand it probably went under refurbishment over the years a few times. But think about how well that was built to be around from the Revolutionary War, you know. Preview This says, well, there was a less well-known one that was totally opposite of Monopoly called Go for Broke Now. That was fun, but didn't really take off. Okay, I have not heard of that one. Martin says, top 500, just over 200, top 100, about 600 Atlas bucks in Europe. Well, not bad. It's a, you know, extra Atlas bucks is extra Atlas bucks, right? And Martin says, please like and subscribe. I agree. Please, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And as always, on videos you watch, please leave a like. And it helps if you leave a comment too. And I try to reply to most comments because it shows interaction and it pushes the video out further. So I appreciate all that. As always, I appreciate it. Donnie says, if next Sunday is again 3 hours minigame, I'm going to miss your live chat because it's racing with race and golf, and I competed for the top 3 in the Netherlands, so I will play these games. That's fine, you know. You could keep the audio on and listen in while you're playing. Yeah, I can understand if you're hardcore competing, go for it. But you know, let us know how it goes, right? But you could keep me on in audio, right? B5V says it's buggy at times when your minigame advances while you're still on the ad. Interesting. Brandon says Temu puts malicious malware on your phone and sells you personal information in the dark web. I wouldn't disagree. I don't know anything about that, but it wouldn't surprise me. I don't use Temu. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. Preview This says, yes, I do sometimes. You got to play the old interactive ad. It needs you to play it to get it back to work. Arbin says, I almost got to ask about the 50% super, or 50 times super rent. What news? Well, as far as I know, nothing's changed about it. We still have the SRB twice a month, and I haven't heard any news about it. The SRB changes, happens twice per month, and that's really, we were talking about this last week. Somebody brought up, I did a video about the whole tier jumping to get up to your 2 times multiplier at the top end of the game. The reason why to continue acquiring parcels is really you make most of your profit on the SRB. And then somebody said, well, what happens if they remove the SRB? Well, we would be kind of blank out of luck, right? Because our profit would go way down. Now, technically, they do reserve the right. It is in their terms of service that they can adjust the numbers however they want. However, I do feel that if they took the SRBs away, or even removed one, they'd be really shooting themselves in the foot, because even if you took one SRB away, it would really take a lot of the financial reason to put money into the game away, right? And there would be, especially if they took both SRBs away, there would be much less reason for anybody to actually come out of their pocket to buy, stuff and even subscribe to the Explorer Club. So I feel like while they can do it, and while they would probably make changes, and the whole idea is not really to choke us out, but the whole idea is to keep their game going and make the best financial choices that they can for their business, right? If they get to that point of removing SRBs, it's going to be bad, and that means that the business is going to be going down, right? We're not at that point. The business is, as far as I know, doing well, and they're rehabbing the game and everything. It's taken quite a while to get anything into game, but it's still being done. And from all the numbers I've seen, I don't have any insight that nobody else can look up. You know, anybody can use Google and look up, you know. I think everything's going well for them, right? Dak28's in the house, says, I'm coming also here to blame 3-hour mini games. I want to go to sleep now I'm tired. So I understand. I understand. That's also another thing. We were talking about the time zones. Some people end up getting their mini games end up going very late. All I can say is give your input to the team, to Annalise and the team on Discord and also on Reddit. Because I know she looks at those kind of comments, and you know, keep them fair-minded, right? Don't get rude. Don't get you know, that kind of thing. Make your statement. Says, hey, this is what I found. I had to start. I wasn't. The games didn't end till 11 o'clock at night. I don't think that I'll be able to do this on a common basis. Stuff like that. You know, just be nice about it, and I'm sure that they'll take a look at all these comments and make the logical choice for the game. So we'll see. Lady Sharon says, oh, in the surveys I try to X and it tells you need to answer the mini survey. Yeah. Watched Plot says finished 3738th. Okay, well, we're down towards almost the bottom of the hour. Okay, so let's do our second giveaway. Once again, we are celebrating my 5,000 subscribers. And I appreciate everybody joining and becoming members of the channel if you're members, and liking and subscribing and all that. But with that said, we're going to give away a second t-shirt. Once again, here are the caveats. If you win a t-shirt, you have to provide me your shipping address and name, and the size t-shirt you want and the color t-shirt you want. And like I said, we're going to be giving away this kind of t-shirt, so you can look on the Atlas Earth channel or website and pick out a color. Let me remove my phone here. Pick out a color and a size and let me know in Discord what your name and shipping address is. And like I said, once I ship it to you, I'm going to delete your information, so it's not going to be used for anything else. But I do understand that if I understand some people just don't want to give their information out. That's fine. But what I'm saying is don't put your name in for the drawing if you're not going to be able to provide that. Okay. With that said, Red X was our first winner. So let's go ahead and do this again. Hashtag Atlas Earth in the chat if you want to win it, have a chance at winning a t-shirt. Hashtag Atlas Earth in the chat for the second t-shirt giveaway. I also gave these 2 t-shirts is about $50 worth. I also gave about $50 worth of stuff away on my my Splinterlands stream yesterday. So Annalise chipping in for Lady Sharon. Okay. All's fair. Martin. And Lady Sharon picked it up. Okay. Brandon asks, can you use P.O. boxes? Yeah, they can fit a t-shirt as long as a t-shirt can fit in your P.O. box. I'll put you on there, Brandon. Hey, Kathy's here. Welcome, Kathy. Lady Sharon says, couldn't find the stupid hashtag. Okay, we'll wait a minute or two, and if you don't see your name on the list and you want to get it in, hey, Janice gets in there. Okay, if you don't see your name on the list and you want to get in on the drawing for an Atlas Earth t-shirt, just put in hashtag Atlas Earth. Hey, Donnie did a super chat for 5K subscribers. Appreciate it, Donnie. As always, coming to us from the Netherlands. Super chats and super stickers are also a way to bring in a little bit of profit, but I appreciate it. Keep us going. Keep the lights on, so to speak. Brandon says, I never get lucky at winning stuff anyway. My RNG luck, RNG standing for random number generator, is rather low too, Brandon, so you're not the only one. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Let's do shuffle 5 times and give away this t-shirt. Once again, the winner will need to provide me their name and address, the color they want, and their size through Discord. And I'll provide that information one more time after we do this spin. And here we go. Cross your fingers. And it's Logan S. Just writing it down. So Logan and Red X are the 2 winners for today. Hey, Arbin did a super chat for $9.99. Appreciate it, Arbin. Arbin's one of our biggest supporters here, and I appreciate it. And also, what I love about Arbin is that he's always got a great attitude. Love it, love it. Thanks, Arbin. Thanks for stopping by. As always, I appreciate it. So let me go ahead and add this again. Once again, you can join my oh, wait a minute. I was going to provide my name here. This is my Discord name. So, both RedX and Logan, I need you to contact me in Discord. Just do a private chat with me and let me know, like I said, what size and what color you want and what your name and address is. And I will get these shipped out. Hopefully we can ship these out this week and get you some cool... I like the Atlas. I'm wearing... I don't know if you can see it, but I'm wearing it. I've got 2 of these. Might order another one. I think they're good quality t-shirts as far as how they feel and everything, and the printing is good. So, okay, we're at an hour and a half. So I want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who has liked and subscribed and joined the channel over the last since I've started covering Atlas Earth here, a little bit over a year, almost a year and a half now. I want to say I appreciate it and thank you for coming by on Sunday afternoon and just chatting and hanging out and doing Atlas Earth with me. So preview this says, what color you like wearing? I prefer dark reds, and I also like teals, like a dark greenish blue. That's just my personal choice. I also like a forest green. My Bronco is forest green. I kind of like that as well too. So either way, thanks for dropping by and hanging out with me. You can probably expect another Atlas Earth video this week to drop, because I got a couple topics I want to talk about, and I need to do an update as far as where I am in the game. So either way, thanks a lot for coming along on this journey with me. And, you know, we're on the journey to 10,000 now. So I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you next weekend. Same bat time, same bat channel.